Thank you so much, John, dear Minister, dear Governor, dear friends. It's a great pleasure to be here again after 1 year. And if you think about how many things are changed in this year, we can do a very interesting list from ChatGPT to international geopolitics. But I believe if we think about the next year, the only prediction is the next election will be unpredictable. Because we'll have elections in USA. Economists in the last days used this expression, Trump is the most danger for the future of the planet. Yes, not, we will see. European election in 2024, also Russian elections, but I think in this case are more predictable than other. And of course also UK election in December 2024. So, the framework is very complicated. And I think the real point is what happened in the last year and in the last months really is very, very, very dramatic for a lot of reasons. Thinking about October 7th, first of all, what happened in Israel. And we haven't time to discuss about how deep is this terrible massacre for human life, for the human values, for the dignity. Thinking only just to try to introduce with a provocation, thinking only about geopolitics. I have a provocation to offer to our debate. Of course, that was one of the most terrible attacks against our brother Jewish people in the history. At the same time, I think the goal of Hamas in terms of geopolitics is failed. Because the idea of Hamas was block the peace of Abraham between Saudi and Israel. Of course, that was a terrible injury in the history of humanity and the history of Israel, but the reaction of Israel and first of all, the reaction of Arabic countries who surrounded Israel show the goal of Hamas wasn't able to achieve the result. And I'm optimistic for the future of this area. I think at the end of the next weeks, months, finally we'll arrive to the two states, two people, and guarantee the security and the freedom of Israel with an agreement between Tel Aviv and Riyadh, and hopefully with other countries. That is the first provocation in terms of prediction for the future. I think we need a different European Union in the next months in the international framework. Where is Europe today in Israel? Where is Europe also in Ukraine? Of course, Ukraine will be part of European Union in the next months when finally the conflict will be over. But we need a new political role for Europe, not focused on ideology, but focused on reality and politics. Let me be very frank and I arrive to conclusion. We discussed about sustainability. European guys created a great message, European Green Deal, very good in terms of slogan. But if we look at the results in 2022, the great message of European Union, we will reduce coal utilization in Europe, with ideas of Franz Timmermans and the other commissioners, really failed. In USA, coal was reduction of coal was 11%. In Europe, do you know how many was the reduction of coal in Europe? In 2022, Europe will use plus 7% of coal. Because the idea of ideology doesn't work. We need not only slogan and ideology, blah, 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 as John rightly used in his introduction, remembering slogan of Greta Thunberg. But we need a very concrete and pragmatic and efficient strategy. I was in Paris when we signed the Agreement of Paris in 2015. Great goal, great project, but we need a a strategy. And what is the strategy for Europe? Invest in technology, not in ideology. Last provocation. Artificial intelligence is not a threat, of course. We have an unbelievable number of complications from artificial intelligence. Unbelievable. In terms of philosophy, in terms of law, in terms of... right, we have in terms of philosophy, because that is the first problem. What is the bridge between reality and a new world? Very, very interesting. But artificial intelligence will be, for energy, for jobs, for sustainability, the best ally for the next future. Artificial intelligence is not only ChatGPT, it's a transformation of the world of energy. And if we'll be able to transform Europe in the land of the future and not only in the museum of the past, so will be believable. I finish. In Greece is impossible. Now remember the great leader of New Europe, who is, of course, your prime minister is a good guy and I have great admiration for him, but the real leader of New Europe is Telemaco, the son of Ulysses. Why? Because Europe is exactly that. It's a great idea of the past. We need a generation of sons, and not only remember of the fathers. We continue with the narrative, Europe is the place of the father-founders. Great. But at the same time, China and the USA compete and maybe cooperate in every dossier. At the same time, new world will emerge from Southeast, from America. Last night in Argentina, we saw a new president. We have a great change in Africa. We need a new Europe, the Europe of tomorrow, not only a Europe who remembers the past, the Europe of Telemaco. Of course, I think that point is not easy to explain because, as I used to say, the problem today is not artificial intelligence. The problem is natural stupidity, and this natural stupidity, the opposite of artificial intelligence, is the populist natural stupidity.